get started with the information. We're going to have time for questions at the end, so we're going to run through everything. If you have a question, take notes, and then we will do our best to answer that as we go through this. So a little bit about what we're going to be talking about today. Introduction, some words. So you all are track 2. You've had some of this information in track 1, so hopefully this is a little bit refresher. But you all are close to putting in your applications, looking for sites if you're not already doing that. So we're going to talk about securing a site. We're going to do a refresher on the hours expectations that are required. Yeah. Somebody up there's got to do it. You can't hear me?
Really muffled and hard.
I don't know how to fix that. I can hold it really close to my mouth. So we're going to review the hours that you need to get every quarter. We're also going to review the requirements that you're going to have in your course, because there's a course that goes along with your site-based learning every quarter. We'll talk through the application process and then also give you all some resources before we go. Okay?
All right, so site-based learning is basically the term we use to describe practicum and internship. Thank you, sound person. Right, so practicum is the first part of your site-based learning experience. It's a standalone course. It's 10 weeks long, just like the rest of your courses, and you must be done with all your hours on day 5 of week 10. So at week 10, it's over. In internship, you'll take internship 1 and internship 2 over the course of 2 quarters. So you can complete your hours simultaneously and even during the quarter breaks. So internship is not over until, week 13 of your second quarter of that experience.
Okay, so some more, I feel like it's too loud. Some more important words, site supervisor. So they are the person at your site who's responsible for overseeing your clinical work. It's important for this person to be identified because they actually fill out part of the application too. We need to see their license and we need them to agree to all the things that we're asking them to do, as well as you're going to agree to providing services there at the site. So you'll have a site supervisor. They're going to give you on-site supervision, which is 1 hour every week that they need to talk with you about your clinical cases. They'll probably also talk to you about your notes and other things that may come up at the site. But you'll do an hour of supervision with them. You'll also do at least an hour and a half of group supervision with a Capella faculty member. So every quarter, you're going to have a faculty member from Capella that you meet with on Zoom. It's going to be at least an hour and a half long. It's going to be 1 day a week, and they'll let you know that day and time. Unfortunately, it probably won't come out until like week 13 of the quarter, right before you start. So a little bit of flexibility in there. But you'll just expect it to be same day, same time, every single week of the quarter, okay? And they'll post in the course room when you're meeting and give you the Zoom link and everything through the course room. So you'll be able to find out that way. So group supervision is this hour and a half that you're gonna meet with that faculty supervisor. And you have to do that every single week, and this is really a K-CREP requirement. If you miss a week, you have to make it up with someone else, another faculty member, and there's rules about how many you can miss. So you want to make sure that you're with your regular faculty supervisor every week unless there's some sort of emergency or unforeseen circumstance that comes up, okay?
All right. How many of you already have a site lined up by a show of hands? Oh, looking good. Okay. And those lovely faculty members are the ones who review your applications, which is why they're clapping. So, for those of you who have already found a site, how many of you have already submitted your application? Well done, well done. How many of you have already been accepted and approved in Willis or Ford? All right, all right. many of you are still looking for a site? All right. All right. And so a lot of this content today will be for the latter, for those of you who just raised your hand. Kudos to those of you who have already completed the process. And for those of you who are entering the process, look at those who raised their hand and maybe they can support you through the process.
Okay, so some sites require something called an affiliation agreement. And this is really a legal document between the site and Capella. Certain sites, I think of like, a lot of times hospitals will require these and schools, correct? Yes. So the thing is, if your site requires an affiliation agreement, or sometimes it's called an MOU, a memorandum of understanding, that can take a while to complete. It can take between 4 to 6 weeks to be completed. So especially if you're a school counseling student, you want to right away be asking about the MOU process and get that started. If you're a counseling student and you go talk with the site and they mention that they're gonna need an MOU, you wanna get started on that right away too. And in Willis, you won't actually be able to fill out the rest of the application until you complete the step that asks about an MOU. Again, not all sites require it, but if your site does, you really wanna be ahead of the game on that one. Okay.
And I think it's important to note too that the university offers a blanket affiliation agreement to every single site. This is speaking to those sites who may want to make an addendum or change a line or change the language. So please note, the blanket standard affiliation agreement is embedded in the application, but if your site needs a nuanced MOU, you might want to know that ahead of time. And you can request a copy of like the template agreement and, you know, forward that along to your site so they can review it before they begin the application.
Yes, so searching for a site. I'll go through that. Okay.
All right, so obviously you're gonna want to make outreach. And I know it feels awkward to do cold calls, but there are resources in place to support you in securing a site. For example, your faculty advising forum is one of those courses that come with your schedule. How many of you know that the faculty inside of that forum are members of your state or live in your state? How many of you know that the people, your colleagues in that faculty advising forum also live in your state? Yeah. So perhaps you can start there and maybe send a message through that faculty advising forum to the faculty or to the colleagues, cohort members, classmates in that forum asking, hey, where are you guys going for practicum or internship? Or for those of you who are in practicum and internship, where are you? But you're gonna wanna also, you know, just have a letter or an email prepared. You wanna have the language to almost not sell yourself, but you want to be able to speak to the requirements of practicum and internship. So drafting a letter or having some type of template email going in might be helpful. You want to prepare a resume highlighting the courses in your experience. We have a career center that can support you in completing your resume as well. Your written communication should be professional and clear. Your email should be also professional and clear. I think the example here is addresses like Swifty for Life might not be the best first look. So using your Capella email might be a more professional way forward. There is a SBL internship finder tool that you can kind of use as a search engine to put your zip code in. And if you don't find something, when you put your zip code in, don't be alarmed. You can